Everyone, today we're going to cover the closing paragraph. So the closing paragraph can be pretty simple, or you can put more into it. I'll read through mine and then I'll kind of go through the process. But again, my whole essay is posted there, so if you want to see what it looks like in terms of like when you get to the actual end of an essay. But mine says, through the fights to be accepted, persevering to discover who truly cared about him, and accepting that he needed more than just his native heritage, Arnold proves that a person can belong to two cultures at the same time. In taking his chance, Arnold was able to discover more about himself and the people around him. His journey should demonstrate that you have to listen to your heart, even if the path isn't easy. So there's kind of two main things that you want to have going on in your closing. You want to restate your thesis in a different way, and you want to talk about the impact of the big ideas from your essay. So there's some ways to do that. When I say restate your thesis in a different way, I mean, you're going to say those three reasons that you have, but you kind of want to expand on them more. So you're kind of reminding us, like, what was the point you made? Why should I be convinced by these things that you told me throughout? So when you look at mine, I have how I wrote them in my thesis. I have my three ideas: multiple needs, perseverance, and confidence. In my closing, I kind of expanded on them and said, like, what are the parts of it? So you can do this by, like, I still kind of have mine in one sentence. You can break them each up into their own sentence. Like, I can put a little more detail into each of these and make them their own unique idea, and that makes up most of my closing paragraph right there. So I resaid multiple needs as the blue one on the bottom, and accepting that he knew more than just his native heritage. Perseverance as persevering to discover who truly cared about him, and confidence through the fights to be accepted. So I can put them all together still in one, or I can expand so that I have some stuff going on in my closing paragraph. So that's the first part, restating your thesis in a different way. And then the other part is that kind of big idea that you want to leave them with. You can definitely use a hook strategy here. You can tell an anecdote, you can use a quote, you can leave them off with a question, but you kind of want to get at like the heart of your essay. Like, what is the thing you want them leaving with, and what is the big connection? So I like to think of an anecdote, but also like talking about big ideas is usually one that I make sure that I have in my closing no matter what, even if I use another strategy. So if I read just the blue part of mine, talk about the impact of your ideas. In taking this chance, Arnold was able to discover more about himself and the people around him. His journey should demonstrate that you have to listen to your heart, even if the path isn't easy. Like that part right there, that's kind of like when we're reading a book and we try to come up with a theme statement. Like, this is essentially a theme statement for my essay. Like, this is what I want you to think about, this is how I want you to leave and have this affect your life. Not just that you bought into my essay in regards to the story we're reading, but now I've made it kind of relatable going forward. So those are the things that you want to have in your closing paragraph. And when you take a look at the rubric, those are the two things that it's checking for. Have you restated your thesis? Have you made the closing statement by restating big ideas, a takeaway from the essay? Do I have something that I'm leaving with?